Yeah, Ezra, thanks for having us on. Look, Benji and I, we arrived here about 16 hours after the horrific Islamic terror attack in Bondi. This is the Jewish community and it's super close to home. Just to give you an idea of how close to home it is, last night we ate dinner at my sister's house and my niece, who's clearly in shock and traumatized, is telling us how her friend from school, her classmate, is in hospital with, who's been shot in the leg with a bullet in the leg. And her other friend, their father has been killed. The whole community here, everyone knows everyone. I know a few people personally who were affected, because some of them were from Melbourne. It's a shocking incident, and you are seeing the community gathering around in Bondi at the memorial. We've seen all sorts of people coming and going, some trying to make political gain off it inappropriately. There are, the Greens deputy leader who many in this community blame for the current climate we're in, which has allowed this attack to happen. She decided to come to Virtue Signal. We hadn't arrived by that point. It was actually early in the morning, but a friend of mine from Sky News, Shari Markson, actually, and I messaged her after, it seemed like she pulled her Avi Yemini out of her internal thing, because I know that if I'd seen somebody like that, I don't know if I could have been as composed.
By this. Are you surprised? You can't possibly be surprised that your actions have been among those that have led to this. Would you like to apologise to the Jewish community?
I am here to provide support to the Jewish community and everyone else.
Would you like to apologise?
Who has suffered what has happened here yesterday. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, what's ridiculous?
Today is a day for grieving, not for politics.
We shouldn't be grieving. You have stood at pro-Palestinian protests where there have been calls for death to their...
It's got nothing to do with anti-Semitism at all.
But then we've spoken to the opposition leader at the memorial. We've spoken to Pauline Hanson, who I wasn't actually sure the kind of reception she was going to get. And it was huge. It was cheering and clapping from the community. I really did not know what to expect. And it was heartwarming to see that finally, I think the Jewish community, the people, not really the leadership like we see around the world, but the community, just like we see in England with Tommy Robinson, here the community has really warmed up and opened and realised that Pauline Hanson was right. She's owed an apology by so many. Pauline, why do you think you're the only politician that I've witnessed in the hours that I've been here welcomed by a round of applause?
That's up to the people to say. I've only ever been myself. I've always ever spoken from my heart, and I believe in my country, and trying to work with my fellow Australians to give them a better way of life.
Don't let them divert this to guns.
I've already put out a message. It's not about the guns. It's the person behind the guns. They didn't have the guns. They had bombs in their cars as well. Whichever way they could inflict death and pain and suffering on the people, that's what it's about.
When I challenged Susan Ley on it, she said it's not about the guns, it's anti-Semitism, but she won't actually pinpoint which breed of anti-Semitism. Yeah. Why do you think she's scared to do that?
It's because they don't want to say, and what the Prime Minister didn't say, this is Islamic terrorists. Okay, this is who's created this, and we've allowed the hate preachers on our streets preaching their hate, and that should not be allowed. Those Palestinian marches should have been stopped, should not have been allowed, and I blame the Prime Minister and I blame the Premiers for allowing that to go on. It should have been stopped.
What would you say to people that say free speech?
No other flag. Palestinian flag should not have been flown in this country, preaching their hatred.
Now, we've spoken to a lot of victims. The viewers can see everything at protectthejews.com.au. You can follow our reports there and also sign and share that petition on that page. And we're doing live streams from the Bondi Memorial. And we've spoken in those live streams. You'll see we've spoken. We're doing also reports. We're producing reports from that. But hours on hours after hours, we're there at the memorial, and we've spoken to a number of survivors of the actual attack, people who have protected their own kids. And there are reoccurring things where people say that there were police, and this story is shocking. The police that were there, that were actually there through most of the attack, refused to shoot back. And I believe that they were, just uniform officers, as I would say. Like, sorry to put it this way, many of them will be DEI hires, and in the situation, they were terrified. They had the pistols. In Australia, we have super strict gun laws. No one had guns. The people with the guns were too scared, and it went on for at least 10 to 15 minutes before other police came in who were willing to engage and fight back. And of course, the hero that tackled down one of the gunmen and himself got shot. So that's one of the things that I think over time is going to become a central part of this broader conversation. What really happened? A lot of people being frustrated that police are being given so much credit when they failed them, in the urgent 10 minutes of the actual attack. When they were there, they were hiding, they were cowering. It is scary. As somebody who's been shot at, even with a firearm, it's, in the army, it is a scary thing. But if that's your job, if we're putting people to that task, you would expect them to do it and not let two crazed Islamist gunmen, go hunting for little kids, women, and just Jews who are out to celebrate Hanukkah. The other thing is that we're seeing, and this report's going to come out later today, is the pivot and the distraction that the government's trying to put forth. There's a concerted effort within the government and the media to make this about guns. And for anyone that knows about Australia's gun laws, you will realise how insane that is, because we have some of the toughest gun laws in the world.
The government is prepared to take whatever action is necessary. Included in that is the need for tougher gun laws.
Father was a licensed gun owner. He had 6 firearms, even though his son was on the ASIO watch list. So he was on the terrorist watch list. And just to give you an idea, in Australia, if you have an intervention order out against you, so if somebody, and generally it's ex-partners, say that you're a threat to them and they want to keep you away, they go in and they file for a restraining order. If you have a restraining order on you, you cannot have firearms. But it turns out, if somebody in the house has a restraining order against them, there cannot be firearms in the house. But it turns out that if Asia has you on the watch list, you can have firearms. But this concerted effort in trying to make it about guns is obviously a way to avoid the elephant in the room. Radical Islam, Islamic Jihad, that hunted those Jews in Bondi just 2 days ago, and that will continue to do so if we make this about guns. So we've got a report in which we actually confront some of those pushing that agenda, or at least not standing against it, and obviously some that are pushing back. We've got so much more to do. I don't know how long we're going to be here on the ground. So I'm very tired because we've barely slept as we've been here. We've been working since the moment we got here, literally from the taxi, and then straight to the memorial. There's a funeral coming up later in a few hours. But there's so many stories to actually hunt down. There's so many victims. We'll bring you everything at protectthejews.com.au, and yeah, not sure how long we're going to be here. We've got a one-way ticket for now, but you can follow all the reporting there at protectthejews.com.au. Just go with that.
I want shalom. I want the hug. Give me a hug, my son. And I pray The day I live until I see you together with us. But I live today massacre. Why? Why? يا الله يا رحوم يا حنون يا رب العالمين. I'm Jewish from Lebanon. I born with all the Arabs in my life. And I love everybody.
We are with you. We stand here with you.
51 years I am here. Thank you, thank you. My God. All my children, Ozzy, I'm 51 years, they don't understand what's going on. I have 11 grandchildren, married, they have 7 grandchildren, and 4 children, 22. They don't understand. I'm a Holocaust survivor. My mother Holocaust. You are recording. What channel is going to be?
Let me say, I guess the question is, in your community, are you involved in your community? Yeah? How are they feeling about what happened here?
Just like I do, they feel bad. Our Grand Mufti, they came out and they said that it's barbaric, it's terrorism. We don't like these things in Australia. No way on earth we want this. And I think so we have to tighten our border security, make sure that no shady people come here. Doesn't matter what their religion or background is. We don't want these people here. We don't want divide in us. We don't like it.
Are you concerned about within the Islamic community that there is an extremist element that is rising?
Again, no. There's not an Islamic community. They always came from outside.
Yes,
They
From where?
From outside, not from Australia. No. They
From outside,
They come here. They try to.
but they're part of the Islamic community.
Yeah, they're part of Islam. But they came from outside and they try to disorientate our kids. But they're not successful. But this time, I don't know why it's happened. It's just it's unbelievable. We don't like these kind of things.
Have you?